Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive through the upside down. We are your three hosts here. If you're new here, welcome. This is pretty fun. If you've been here, well, then you know all the same stuff that we do here. I'm one of your hosts, Annie, and then we got the rest of the boys here.
Hi, I'm Mr. Fuentes.
What's up, guys? Drew Dredd here.
And today we are talking about the last episode in season 4, the piggyback, which by all means it is 2.5 hours worth of greatness,
Yes.
30 minutes worth of crying, and
Hour.
maybe hour. Okay, we'll go
And
an hour worth of crying, an hour worth of madness. I think we pretty much based
yeah,
it on
that pretty
there.
much sums it up. Yeah.
All right, so then I guess we're done here, guys.
Yeah, that was the last. That was the episode. If you want to watch it, it's on Netflix.
Oh man. But honestly, I will say it, and I feel like I say it every single episode, that this was like honestly their best season that they've done.
Yeah.
That this is honestly, on a cinematic level, it's been amazing. Their soundtrack, their sound, whatever, it just everything was just spot on this
hmm
season.
Especially for a Netflix TV show.
Absolutely.
I've said this many of times in the podcast, probably ignored by it, but it basically was a movie to me. Um, yeah, everything was so well done. I thought season 3 was the best, but until I watched this season, and I'm thinking, okay, they can't top the season 3. Well, I was way wrong. Because season 4 probably is one of the greatest TV seasons I've ever seen, hands down. So yeah, that's just my opinion on season 4.
Yeah, I agree.
no, definitely. I really can't think of another series that really gripped you like that. I think the only other time I really fell into a series that I thought was like a really cool concept, really cool season was I don't know if you remember 24 with
Hmm.
Yeah.
Keith
Okay.
Sutherland.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it was just so engaging because it was just like when I went back and thought about it, I was like, dang, that all happened. Like they every episode's an hour. It's 24 episodes, and it's an hour of like their time frame, and it's just like, whoa. All that crazy shit happened in an hour, like, or not an
Yep.
hour, but like in 24 hours, like that's insane. And this kind of has like a similar feel where it's just like all the stuff that happened in like probably like a span of 3 days, I think,
hmm
through the entire series, and it's just like
Yeah.
so much happens, like it's crazy, and they
Now,
did so well.
now I have a bar where if I'm gonna watch a new TV series, it has to be just like Stranger Things and Breaking Bad. If it's not above that, don't even mention to me. So
Like, don't talk to me.
don't talk to me.
Honestly,
No,
I would have to say that's like with this show, it reminded me just like Breaking Bad, like not like full on. It's just like the way that Breaking Bad was set up, it felt like you were watching a movie every episode, and the way that they kept you on your toes and all the twists and the turns that they put you through. Honestly,
Mhm.
I didn't think a high school fucking chemistry teacher
Chemistry
was going to do
teacher.
all of this. And
Yeah.
then he ends up being the biggest drug lord you could think of, talking to some manager, a general manager at a taco shop. Like, it just blew my mind. Like, it really did. So I mean, it's crazy how now we see like series or any kind of shows like evolve, and then we get into Stranger Things. Stranger Things is something based in the 80s, and look at where we're at. Like, it's just honestly just really good.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
well, let's dive right into it. Let's
Yes,
do
let's
it.
do this. So we start off with them actually hanging out in the Winnebago, just waiting, preparing. Nancy does talk about like no one moves forward into any of their sequences until everyone gives the all clear. So
Mhm.
no one is budging into sequence 2, 3, or 4 or 5 until everyone is okay, everyone's good, and everyone's alive, basically. Um,
Yeah.
what else?
Also, but little before that, we actually get finally the best moment between Hopper and Joyce. Joyce and Hopper had their moment, and then it got just cut off by the red phone. So
God damn it. They were like talking about that what is it, Italian place, Enzo's, right?
Yes.
And he's talking about how much breadsticks he's gonna eat. He was torn in between the veal and the lasagna, and she's like, "Oh, really? That's all you thought about was food?" Like she was just upset. Like as a woman, I would be upset. Like, come on, man, you've been locked up for so long, and all you thought about was food. You didn't think about me. No,
Yes.
he thought about yeah, he thought about you too,
Yes.
but you know,
You're, you
let's
are
see.
so lucky the higher ups had told me to not say things because I bet he was thinking about eating some stuff too.
That was dessert. That's what he was trying to
He was
explain.
trying to explain what he wanted for dessert.
Yep.
And then the phone call, the infamous phone call, because they were about to get
That's
down
funny.
to the down and dirty.
You know,
And
it's funny because the first time I watched that, I don't know if I was just tired when I watched it, but I thought they like fully did the deed. I completely forgot that there was a phone. I just thought it cut
Mm.
like after they started making out, cut to the next scene. But apparently, when I rewatched it, I was like, "Oh, the phone rang." So like they actually didn't do the deed. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, why did I think they did?" No, maybe just because I wanted them to.
Yeah.
you're already thinking initially, you're like, yeah, nope, they're gonna do it. They're going to plant. He's gonna plant his seed in her, and that's what it was gonna be. And it didn't happen because they were called, and Joyce did remind him that they're listening, that they're always listening, and
I'm just imagining the helicopter ride back home, with everyone in it, and just Murray, just like, all right, guys, like I
Yeah.
get it, you haven't seen each other in a while, but this is kind of ridiculous.
you gotta stop. God.
This only fits two people.
They're all like laugh on top of each other. Like Murray's on top of Enzo, and then it's Joyce on top of Hopper, but she's not facing the way that the window is. It's facing the. She's like, I'm just trying to make room.
I'm just gonna sit on Hopper's lap.
I can't, dude. See, could have been some extras they could have at least released. You
Deleted
know,
scenes.
deleted scenes. The X-rated for 21 and up versus 18 and up.
So, yes, we get their moment, and then the guys talk about the plan, and they start entering the Upside Down.
Yes, which feels like a big moment. Like we're getting them all ready and prepared for battle. But then we figure out that Jonathan's trying to call all these places for 11 to transfer over, like as in like flying back home, and realize that there's no flights that are open. They can't leave until tomorrow, but tomorrow's too late. And she figures out a plan that she's able to enter Max's mind while Vecna and One is there. So she's able to piggyback from Max's mind to meet up with him, where they're able to see everything. Because right now, at the moment, they're trying to figure out how everyone can get there. But she figures like maybe this will work because I've tried it on Billy, I've tried it on Mama, and I feel like this may be suffice to work. Um, but a hotel room is not going to have almost 600 pounds of salt,
Salt.
and they're going to have a big enough tub, but just not enough salt. Thus, Mr. Argyle, with the biggest plan that I feel like was the success of this season. He's he said she needed to, get nice and clean, for battle, and that just had me fucking dying the whole time. Oh yeah, you gotta be clean to have a great mind, and everyone's like, no, what? No, she needs a bath. She needs, to focus. And he's I may know a place where we can get all the items that you need. And he goes, yep, it's gonna work. And I'm like, how do you know your measurements by hands? Like, he has a plan. And this man's greatest plan seemed to save us this season. Then we actually go back to the rest of the crew. I think in Russia, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's Joyce and Hopper. They got off the phone Hopper had to explain to the lady on the other side of the phone that he hasn't been dead, that he's been alive, and it took about 15 minutes of that conversation to convince her that he was alive and he was well. We did get information that the doctor and this girl was going to go fight evil, and that that's all we heard was the last of it. And the doctor was disposable, as in like he is gone, and now we don't know where 11 is. But obviously, as fans, we know where 11 is, but they don't know where 11 is, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get home with Yuri messing with everything in the planes. You know, not plane, helicopter,
Helicopter.
trying, yeah, messing with either the fuses or trying to sabotage them from leaving. Murray does bring up the fact that if they do leave today, they're not going to get there until mid tomorrow morning. So it just made it even worse for them trying to figure out everything. But I do have to say though, their wardrobe that they had, the Hollywood Hulk Hogan
Oh, the Hulk
shirts
Hogan.
on, both matching with Hopper and Joyce. They're both matching with the same outfit.
That's literally the
Spot
first
on.
scene I spotted. That scene came up.
Literally, I was like, "Is that a Hulk Hogan shirt? What the heck?"
Nothing says America like a Hulk Hogan shirt in the
Absolutely.
80s.
It's the 80s.
These living in America.
That is funny because somebody pointed out, which I would have never noticed unless I watched it a few times, that every season they have a matching outfit together. Joyce and Hopper do,
They do.
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that is a funny observation."
Look, man, they're not even a couple, but they end up matching all the time with each other.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
last season was the Russian uniform.
The
Yeah.
Russian
The year
uniform.
before that was the scrubs, right?
The scrubs. Yeah, the
Yeah.
doctors. The doctor scrubs.
And then the other one was the hazard suits whenever they went into the
oh,
upside down.
yeah, okay. All right.
Every year. Every year. God, Duffin Brothers, you got us. Done got
They
us this
were
time.
dropping the
I thought of
seeds
that.
the whole time.
All
They
the
were
time.
They were like, Bob the Brain had to die.
Poor Bob. R.I.P. Bob. We still miss you though. Um, what happens after that? They devise.
Um,
I think they devise a plan because they talked about how can they help the kids without being over there. They come to realize that the particles and everything are still alive, so there is a hive mind there in Russia. Murray looks at him in shock because they're like, "You want us to break back in to where we just escaped to help the kids?" Well, he not all of them, only 3 are going, which is
Mhm.
going to be Hopper, Joyce, and Murray. Enzo and Yuri are staying because, Enzo's going to beat some sense into Yuri instead of sabotaging us. He's going to let him know like, "You need to help us or, kind of kill him off."
Yeah.
Because we need to get it done and fixed in the way.
I am like really curious about like Murray's like character development in this season, just because like he started off in season 2 as someone who was just like, I'm not here to stick my neck out for you. Like, yeah, you need some information. I need some information because I'm trying to write. I guess he was a journalist. I'm not really 100% sure what his actual job was, but it sounded like he was a journalist.
Mhm.
And so like he wanted the hot goods. So he was trying to help, I think, Nancy and Jonathan in season 2. And then season 3, they went to him because he was a translator. And now like season 4, he's like basically risking life and death for these people. And it's just like, did his like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, did he grow like a good friendship over that 1 year, or like did his character, like, did they completely change his character? Or I don't know, like, because that really wasn't his character from season 2 to season 4. Like
Yeah.
to risk his life for someone else.
I think. Go ahead, Drew.
But I know I think he's just because the way he came into the show, he was just by himself.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was a conspiracy like theorist, like in my opinion. So I think he grew on to these people, and yeah, he just developed into like to actually, I want to take care of these people. I want to bring, just make sure they're all safe, and yeah. So
I think it's because they have a lot more info on him than they do on you know the vice versa way. So they have more info on him than he does on them. So to keep your friends close and your enemies closer, kind of type thing, because like you said, he was a conspiracy theorist, and then when Hopper mentioned in season 3 about him helping them, he had security cameras, he had 7 different lock types on his door because he didn't want anybody knowing where he was at, or even kind of like threat wise, maybe that was the intention at the beginning, and then all of a sudden it turned into the actual like friendship wise this season, where Joyce was calling him for any kind of reasoning, thinking that Hopper was still alive. I think he felt really bad because of the death of Hopper, so he stuck around a lot more
I
because
think that's okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Like, because he was
Yeah.
around he was with them during that time when the thing exploded and
yeah,
stuff. Maybe he felt just that connection, like he wanted to
help her.
conclude the story. Like, if Hopper was really alive, maybe he felt partially responsible, so he wanted to help.
Yeah,
Bring him back. That makes sense.
yeah. That's the only reason thinking wise is that I feel like it would be the logical sense because he felt bad because he asked her like, "Where's Hopper? Like, we gotta go," and she just looked at him with that dead
Oh
puppy
yeah,
dog
yeah,
eyes, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like
yeah.
it happened. So it kind of that's the only thing I could think of that would work sensibly, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where his character development went with
Mhm.
the season. That he's only there to complete the mission, and then I think after that we may see him like here and there.
Oh no, he's in it. He's in it to win it.
Was he there though? Well, we'll talk about this later. I'll bring this up later in towards the
At the
ending.
end, no, he's not.
There you go. He completed his mission. He completed his mission. He ain't there, so he's all my guy.
Well, neither
He's
was
like,
neither was Enzo though. But where the hell would Enzo go? But
He's
anyway, we can
very
talk
he's
about
true.
it
Russian.
later.
I was like, oh, it's like he's Russian. He's
But
staying
he's a
put.
traitor now.
Oh, you know what? You're right. The KGB got him.
But
They
then
got
at the
Yuri
same
too,
time, like, is he a traitor or did everyone that knew he was a traitor get eaten by Demogorgons?
Oh yeah.
except for Yuri. Yuri's still alive. Damn. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my.
Yuri.
It's Yuri. Oh man.
Is this when Argyle takes the crew to the local like next
Yeah.
pizza shack?
He's all, don't worry, brochachos.
Oh, that
We're
was
gonna
so
find a
funny.
way. Oh my god. They go into this surfer boy shop here locally where they're at. They're closing, they close in 10 minutes. The guy at the register, the way that Argyle talks is the same way that this guy talks. And they had it spot on, and I loved
Jesus.
it.
Hey, bro,
There you go.
chachos.
Man, I would love to serve another
Dude.
surfer boy guy, but we're
Dude,
closing
I could
10
never talk
minutes
like. I'd have to
and
like memorize a line, but it was just like,
I
I'd love to hook you up with a tasty pie, man, but the kitchen, it's closed and trying to get out of here, man. And
he's like, "Oh, I don't want to partake into your wonderful delicious pies. I just need your kitchen." Is what we need. And then he's like,
bro,
you see this
chacho.
psycho girl next to me? We're trying to use your freezer just to enhance her psychedelic mind. I was like, oh my god, I can't with this guy.
He's just like, oh, well, I
Ah,
kind of got to meet someone at Taco Bell in
that.
10 minutes.
And then Jonathan tries to talk like them and had me die. And he's like, okay, bro, chacho. And I was like, oh no, here we go. He's like, have you ever partaken in, a little what is it, palm tree delight or pineapple
Yes, there you
delight?
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
my
think it's
god.
palm tree delight. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the guy's just looking at him with his big eyes, like, yeah, I take it. And he walks out of there happy, holding it in his hand.
Oh
Oh,
shit. I think that
that
was
had
Purple,
it. Yeah.
purple palm tree delight.
purple
Yeah.
palm tree
There you go.
delight.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm missing another P in there. I couldn't remember what it was. But that most excitement, just for that little bit of a scene, was just like the breath of air we needed just to see. I feel like their segment was just like that little window that we needed before we hit the whole climax of everything in the season and
Mhm.
in this episode. Um, we have them start emptying
I,
out the freezer, starting to get everything together. While all of that is going on, Mr. Argyle is making a freaking pizza. He's
I
he's
you can't
I
fight
love
evil on
the
an empty stomach.
I love the montage of them like being all like getting the pull right, and it shows him just getting a pizza like intense.
he's like, I feel like okay, I feel like I was watching a Luigi Primo segment where like he's just tossing the dough, beating up the dough, getting it all set up, and I'm just sitting there like, that's
Well,
gonna
I
be
mean,
a good
during that
time.
scene, you also have the Dustin and Eddie kind of preparing the trailer at the same time for their future
Oh yeah.
plan that
Hmm.
they're
Yeah.
about to do. Um, so they're fortifying the trailer.
They're
So
getting it all together with that intense scene, and then you get the breath of fresh air with Argyle tossing pizza around while Will, Jonathan, Mike are all getting the freezer ready, dumping all the things out into the sink. Sink. They're using the sink faucet to fill up the thing as they're slicing into the 600 pound or 60 pounds worth of salt.
So
And it's just crazy. Mike's over there using Argyle's glasses or whatever the glasses that they had provided there at Surfer Boy and putting the pizza box like it's like really cool like how all of this whole segment is because you get this whole intense scene and that and then it just makes it even
it's like your
better.
anxiety is like this as you're watching it.
It's like the little bumps in the
It's like, oh,
road.
this is
Like
fun. Oh, they're preparing for battle. Oh no, like
you're like,
so
gosh darn it, like so much
yeah.
happiness and so little times going on. While all of that is going on, we're going through phase one of the plan. So we have Erica, Lucas, and Max all at the old Creole house. They're trying to find where Vecna is with which I thought was really cool and a smart idea is using the bug lights, the zappers.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
walking around the whole house so it's not as bright and also the bulbs won't break as easily with I guess with the whole electromagnetic magnetic thing going on in the house. So you use a dimmer light in order for that to happen. So those bug lights come in very very good fashion. I think Erica was the one up on the attic, or no, I think it was Max up at the attic, Lucas on the second floor, and then Erica on the first floor.
First
And
floor.
mhm.
Erica found Vecna on the first floor, so she lets Lucas know that they found him. They all come downstairs, and that's when we kind of figure out where they're going in the in the house. But Erica has to let the other group know that we they found Vecna and they're going to go on to phase two. When Erica runs out of the house, goes to the little rocket ship that's out there, jungle gym thing. Remember that guy in episode 5 or 6 where they're rallying the troops with Jason, that one long-haired guy with the glasses that got up and was like, "What are y'all guys waiting for? We got someone to
Oh
hunt for."
yeah.
So he was the little birdie that told the high school kids, the high school jocks, Jason's friends, where they were at.
Yeah.
So Jason's like, I don't want to waste my time with some kind of tip if it's not really it. And then they told him where they were at and where the location was, and he's like, okay, let's
That
go.
sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Let's go. And I'm like, oh shoot. I'm like, Erica picked the wrong time to run out in that moment, and I was like, shoot, something's gonna happen, and I feel it, and I know something's gonna happen. Well, that's going on. Nancy, Steve, Robin are all walking through the forest,
Yeah, they're heading
um,
towards the Creole house.
heading towards the Creole house. Robin's getting us super very anxious and running. Trying, they see the tree like multiple times, or the same tree she says multiple times, and then we get a cute moment, but sad kind of moment with Nancy and
Steve.
Steve. Steve talks about well, Nancy brings up, that Robin can't run, that she knew how to walk better than she
Back
did
was
run.
it backwards? Something like that.
Yeah.
Like some shit like that.
Yeah, and then Steve mentions that he was a reverse crawl baby where they should have put parking or brake lights behind him because he would always go beep 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 beep. Had me laughing the whole time. He was just kind of like having a cute moment, you know. He said the only reason why he did that a lot as a kid is because he fell pretty hard on his head or something like that. Like, you know, he wished that someone would knock some sense into him. And he mentioned like 2 years ago that he got his, you know, his sense knocked in, and it was from Nancy. And that he brought up the whole conversation that they had in the Winnebago in episode 7 or 6. No, I think it was one of those. No, episode 8. My bad.
So eight,
Uh,
yeah.
it was 8 where they're sitting there talking about, you know, the six little nuggets and everything, and he brings up that it was her all along that was in the dream. And that cute little moment, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna kiss. Oh my god, this is gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna get that moment. And freaking Robin comes in and it's like, hey guys, I was wrong the whole time. I'm like, Robin, why? So
Awkwardness.
close, awkward. And they're just kind of like, oh, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
You know? Nancy was kind of in shock because she didn't know what the heck to say at all. And then Steve's like, okay, let's go. You know, so it was Robin, then Steve, then her. Damn.
Um, and then this is when that's when it goes back in Russia. And that's where they're driving up to the gate, and there's no guards there because it's just, I mean, it's demolished by the Demogorgons.
Hmm. You hear the
Um,
screaming
yeah,
on the walkie,
on the
and
walkie, yeah.
yeah, and they don't know what's going on because they're like, "This is so much easier than what we did
Hmm.
before." And then you get the walkie screams and everything going on, and I'm like, "Oh no, oh no,
Oh no!
oh no!" All of that
Oh
going
no.
on.
Oh no.
Uh, trying to think of
All
what
right, where are we
else.
at? Okay, that's pretty much it. And then
So yeah, they get inside the place, and then everyone. It's kind of like, what is it? The calm before the storm ish.
Yeah,
Um, you got, Lucas and Max kind of talking. Um, you
the
got the guys.
cutest thing.
You got the guys eating their pizza, and you
Don't
know,
knock it before you try it.
yeah, and Mike and Elle, having their cute little moment together, and um, Argyle trying to convince him that pineapple jalapeno pizza is good,
Good
um,
pizza.
and which is all propaganda, all of it
I guess.
spread by the left wing media. Pineapple doesn't go on pizza.
I beg to differ.
If Gordon Ramsay said pineapple does not go on pizza, that is who you listen to.
If Luigi Primo mentions it on it where it says it belongs, sir. It
No.
belongs. Damn, I tried. No, but you get everyone having all like their little cute moments. I think Hopper and Joyce had like a little moment as
And then
well.
Will and Jonathan kind of had their
Oh,
little.
that cute little moment. Oh my god. That was already like a little tear starting for the roller coaster ride because their little moment was like, "Hey, you remember that little thing you used to always bring me, or like your little friend? What it was it called?" And then they're just having like a cute moment, and he was just kind of telling them like, "I'm here for you. You can come and talk to me if you need me. These past couple months I haven't been there for you, and I'm sorry that I haven't been there for you." And I'm just like crying. I'm like, "Oh my god, the brotherly love." But I think Jonathan felt like a sense of guilt just because like he knew that he could have caught on to something like this a little bit sooner to help him go through it, but I guess it was a little too late type thing.
Yeah, and then we kind of start a little bit after that. We kind of start getting into the meat. Um, Max tries to
Hmm.
call out Vecna. Uh,
Oh god, that made my stomach turn because she's sitting there mentioning that she really did wish that Billy died. but in the way, in a sense
Ugh.
where it didn't make her feel bad, where he would, if he would have died because he was driving his car too fast, or if he got in a car crash and blah blah blah, like it just kind of sank. And then when I heard Lucas's voice, like, you really wanted him dead, and I'm just like, oh no, like I'm thinking like, oh shit, Lucas is really thinking that she's
Mhm.
some kind of mentally disturbed person that really wanted Billy dead, which she didn't. It was just kind of trying to antagonize
It's like
Vecna.
normal people don't think that, right? I
Yeah.
Hmm.
was like, dang. So I'm
I,
not
that.
normal people.
I'm that one. I'm people.
Dang, that's messed up. The
Man.
true, the true, the true meaning of this entire season was: if you have mental problems or need
Please
mental
reach out.
help,
Reach-
please reach out. It is not normal to wish death upon people or
It just
imagine their death on multiple occasions.
yeah.
but that whole conversation just kind of had me on my toes because I was like, shoot, Lucas is going to ruin everything. He's talking while she's talking to him, and it's just going to mess it up. Then, lo and behold, when you start hearing Lucas a little bit more, you hear Vecna behind that voice,
Yep.
and he's all like, it's that double voice that makes it even worse because it's like super trying to, like, I guess he's trying to mimic Lucas's voice, and it just sounds more creepy and creepier. And that she's gonna be the fourth one that breaks his world, that's gonna change the world forever. And we get a cut back to them actually in reality. Lucas is screaming Max's name and everything, and that's when he lets Erica know that you know
Vecna's in
Vecna has
her
her,
mind. Yeah.
and that's when they move on to phase 3. And phase 3 is them walking into that house, and then
Well, no, phase 2/3. I don't remember which one it is distracting the bats.
oh,
First.
that's right,
So
it is
the
distracting the bat. So we get this whole,
epic montage.
yes, everyone's montage. You get the bats, and it's what, 10 seconds before the bats get there. You get Eddie that rips off the pick off of his necklace, and he said, "This is for you, Chrissy," and just starts shredding. And right there, like the chef's kiss, like we get them getting prepared for this whole battle. And
Dustin plugs in the extension cord, turns up the amp, and Eddie starts playing "Master of Puppets" by Metallica.
honestly, like, if I would say after this episode aired, that was my gym song for like the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, it was just overhyped, and it's like 7 minutes long, so that got me through a bunch of my sets. But like, if I really needed to get through a set, especially a squat set, I needed that song
Yeah.
because I knew it was for Chrissy.
As you're banging, you're just like, ah.
It's for Chrissy. But honestly, it was kind of epic because the way that the song played in, it was Nancy, Steve, and Robin walking through the doors, and then you got them walking through the door. I think it was also Max running away from Vecna at the same time, and it just felt so like so surreal because every time she would go somewhere, Vecna would block her off. Every time she would open a door, there would be boards in her way, and it just felt so, I would say, so cohesive in the moment because you also had the bats flying towards Eddie and them, and it's just so much going on in that little bit of scene, but still so. It just felt like it was all one piece, one cohesive piece, at the same time.
Eddie, I know it isn't real what you did. Obviously, it's a TV show, but I'm going to give you the highest compliment another musician can give another musician.
So, fun fact, he knew that song, and it took him, I think, about a month and a half to actually learn that song
Yeah.
to make it look actually real. So, whenever they played like on set, he actually played on set, but they used the audio over, like, the actual music over it. So, it looks legit, like he knew how he was playing. A lot of fans were like, oh, he doesn't know how to play it. And he literally, like, they showed,
I
back.
think he did. They did a concert, didn't they? And he ended up playing like one of the
Yeah,
riffs or one of the solos
That's
during that
insane.
Stranger Things
yeah.
concert
And then
with the Metallica artist.
yeah, all of the artists is there and everything. So I was like, point proven, my guy. Like you did it. And then also to the bassist of Metallica, his son is the one that actually played like the, I guess, the recorded over version for the
Hmm.
show. So they used that instead of,
Oh,
like, they
okay.
had like a mix, I guess, of it. But he was the one that played the actual music for the show. So I was like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
that's
I
pretty
didn't know
cool.
that. All right.
Hmm. It's a little fun
Well, that's
fact.
cool.
Yeah, they had to use Metallica some way. If they were going to use it, they're going to have to use someone's blood, someone's son, you
Yeah.
know, which is pretty
More
cool.
money.
More money. Yum. They had to go after Kate Bush. They went after Metallica. Metallica's like firstborn son, or we ain't doing nothing, and that's it. As metal as it can get. Um, while that's going on, Max is trying to figure out a way to get away from Vecna, and she teleports herself through her mind to the one of her favorite, I guess, parts of her life, and we go into the snowball dance.
Snowball Dance from
And
season 2 finale.
yeah, from the season 2 finale, and it's just her by herself. The music's playing. The I can't remember the song. Um, it was a song that all of them were slow dancing to, I
Mm,
think.
it's definitely not Running Up the Hill or Master of Puppets.
Yep, it is not.
I
But
also love the scene how yes, like they
Oh, is
transition
it
to
Every Breath You
Max.
Take?
yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, that's right. Um, but yeah, it's a wide shot of Max, at the dance, and then it cuts to Eddie and Dustin going back into the RV, and they're all so excited. He's like, "That was the most metal concert
That
ever."
was the most metal concert ever.
Most metal
Ever.
ever.
Like just so hype, but not
It's
realizing.
funny that they take a lot of detail because now that I look at it and I realize that it's Every Breath You Take, that's actually a stalker song. So it's actually kind of a hint that she's
Mm,
really not safe. That Vecna's watching her still, like every
yeah.
breath you take, every move you make, like he still has
Some
his
kind of
grip
hole.
on
Mhm.
her, and she's not safe, but she thinks she is.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's pretty interesting.
Yes. Um, while Eddie and Dustin are celebrating, the RV, or the little mobile home that they're in, is getting attacked by the bats, and
And they're
not
just hype as
realizing,
fuck. They're just
they're over.
hype.
They're just like, oh my god, and then they're getting attacked by the bats, but not realizing that they covered every single hole in that RV. They forgot about the vents up at the top.
Hmm.
And Dustin's like, "You don't think that they'll go through there, right?"
They sadly broke
Wrong.
through.
Yeah, sadly they broke through everything. They broke through that. Um
Then it heads over back to Russia. Hopper, Joyce, Murray broke into the prison. Um, and then is this when they come about? They see
the security guard, or I think one of the doctors, I couldn't.
who's all like messed up, right, from the Demogorgons.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's where. Man, is that where they find all those? No, no, that's not right. All the beasts escape from the
Yeah, like
containers.
all the
Yeah,
containers are
yeah, they
broken.
Yeah,
find it a little bit after that. Yeah,
yeah, okay. That's even more concerning. Like when I saw that part, I was like, oh well,
We're
Demogorgon's gonna
fucked.
take over the world. Yeah, so
We're effed at this point.
we're
Like
beep.
we're beeped. Man, it's
I
really
got you
bad
for it though.
because like there are just looking at everything. They're wondering where the particles are because they were there before and they're not there. They went to go talk to the, I think it was either the officer or the doctor that was there, asking him, where everything is. And they got the worst answer possible back out of it, was that the particles went into those those creatures. So now, not only do they have the one Demogorgon that was there, they have all these other Demodogs that they have to fight through that have the particles in there.
Mhm.
So not only one hoop that they got to go through, they got to go through like four
Yeah,
extra
4 hoops.
hoops.
Yep.
So they have to think of a game plan in order for them to succeed with this plan. So the best idea that Hopper has is that since that cage area where they fight at or where they release the monster at is to hold the monsters in. So why don't I, as Hopper, go lead them to there? And Murray can come in with the
Murray can come in
flamethrower.
flamethrower.
Yeah, they have a game plan, and Joyce is like, for once, I don't want you to do this kind of plan because I don't want to lose you again. And she has the flashback of our mighty Bill, and you
Bob.
know, oh,
His
what
name
Bob,
Bill.
Bob,
Bob.
Bob, Bob,
Bob.
Bob, um,
Bob the
Mr.
Brain.
Bob, where she could see him getting attacked, and that's where like she's kind of like she doesn't want the same thing to happen to Hopper at all.
No, but Hopper's like, yo, they
I'm
already brought me
Hellboy.
back this season, so I don't
I'm
think they're gonna
Hellboy.
kill me again.
I'm Hellboy. Nice to meet you.
Um, so then while all that's going on, Lucas is still trying to protect or be around Max, and our favorite jock, Jason,
Oh my god, he's gonna get those
walks
hands.
in. Lucas nervously, like, Jason, bro, you can't be here. Like, some shit is going down, and you can't be in this vicinity. And Jason's like, Whoppa!
Pulls out a 45, my guy. Pulls out a
Pulls
45.
out a revolver and's
Oh,
like, yo, you step back or else. And yeah, it was a lot of intensity going on.
yeah. He
Um,
gave him the ultimatum like, you're gonna leave, you're gonna get her out of here, like the way that she is, make sure that she's mentally capable of getting down from there, and then, like, you're gonna go and you're gonna leave because you're gonna release her. And he's like, that's not possible. I can't. And it's too soon. Like, he basically said it's too soon for her to come back because they have a whole plan and Jason doesn't know about that plan. But can we get a little shout out to Erica, man? Like, Erica has to go through a freaking jock in order to come and save everything that's going on over there, man. That jock, he picked the wrong fight. Wrong girl to mess with, though. Man.
I
Sure.
forgot what happened. Like, I know she got loose, kicked him in the balls, and ran away, but I forgot how she got loose.
Uh,
I think she's just stronger.
I think
yeah,
Honestly.
the 11-year-old.
She just wiggled her way out.
She wiggled, she said, and then kicked him in the balls and ran. She said, not on my
Yeah,
time. They ain't called me, without, what is it, her line? Without Erica, there's no America or something like
Oh,
that.
you can't
there's you
spell
can't.
America without Erica.
There
See,
you
there
go.
you go.
Yeah.
She's America. She's America.
And then, well, just a little before that, that's when 11 continues to like search through
Which
Max's memory.
which is pretty cool
Um,
because we got to see baby Max.
yeah, and was it like a ditch or something, or not
No,
ditch,
it's
but
like the water
water. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
reservoir, and they're
Hmm.
skating, and like everyone was kind of making fun of her because she was a girl skating, and like back then it wasn't a thing or whatever, and like she just wanted friends to hang out with and everything, and that wasn't it. And then that's when 11 noticed like a table or like a DJ table from like a dance or something, and that's where she realized where she may be at.
Hmm.
Then we get the cut to Max just hanging out at the dance, and you can kind of see everything's kind of going wrong. Like the music's changing, it's
Oh yeah,
changing
the balloons
to,
popping to blood.
yeah, and we know that he's there, and he
Yeah.
runs. Max knows that he's coming, so she's trying to figure out a way to get away from him. And basically, Vecna's like, I can find you. I know where you're at. There's no way for you to run away from me. I know every move that you're going to make. I know basically where you're going to jump to next. So just might
Every
as well,
step that she takes,
yeah,
every move she makes, every night and day, he'll be watching her.
yeah.
Hmm.
So he knows. He really does know. So he basically pops back in, and we get her thrown all the way across
The
the
gym.
gym to the wall, and he's already going to start his kill.
Ah,
He's going to start his kill. While that's going on, we get the guys at the house kind of trying to go over the vines, and or what is it, the hive mind, right? Those little
yeah, yeah.
The little
tentacle
vines,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of them steps on it, or like they basically grab them. I think Robin was the first one grabbed, and then Steve,
And then Steve and then Nancy.
Nancy, and they're all
Yeah.
stuck on the wall, getting choked out by these vines because he knew what the plan was. Don't know how, he just knew what the plan was. Well,
Who,
we blame,
Vecna?
yeah, Vecna knew the plan.
Yeah, because he could read Max's mind.
I know, you know, just he
But
knows
they,
everything.
which was like weird to me. It's just like,
He let them go all the way through with this plan. Like, it just made me so mad. Like, if he knew what they were doing, why let him go through all of this? Like,
Control.
he's all
yeah, I honestly, I think he just thought he was stronger than they were, so he didn't care. Like he was just like, you know what? If this is gonna give me my last kill, if she's willingly gonna come to me, then I can kick all their asses. Like it doesn't
he's
matter.
I'm gonna give him like 20 minutes, and if they don't succeed, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish this job. But we get them caught. We have already Max in the grasp of Vecna's hands.
Is this when like had Dustin, Eddie, obviously the bats broke in, they're fighting them, all of that, and then that
That's
leads
when,
to Dustin goes to the gate, and then Eddie decides not to go with Dustin.
yeah. So like,
Um, yeah,
he basically said he wasn't gonna run anymore, and he cuts
the
the
bed sheet
sheet.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and then takes the mattress and throws it aside. And then the scream of Dustin, dude, like, Eddie, Eddie, no, like, oh my god, my heart sank because for one, I didn't want anything to.
Oh, your mic.
Uh,
There you go.
There you go.
No,
Oh,
no,
I
no.
don't hear you.
did
Don't
it
worry.
go?
We can
There you
cut
go.
this.
Okay, cut. So what was I saying? Shit, before I got cut off.
Dustin screaming.
Yeah, Dustin was screaming, and then lo and behold, like, everything else kind of just hit home. Just like watching everybody fail, basically. And I was just kind of like, well, shit. Like, if this plan's not gonna happen, I keep on cussing. Uh, every time that this happens, it just feels like we're gonna lose, and he knew that we were gonna lose. Uh, but out of the back gate in left field, we get 11 that pops in through the scene.
We
Like,
get number 11 in the backfield coming through.
woo! She comes through, comes in clutch with the piggyback ride. Um, Vecna's in shock. Like, you could see it in his face because he's like, "Oh no, oh no!" Gets thrown.
11 came in and looking like the final boss.
This teeny tiny
See,
little
you know what?
girl.
I was watching this stuff and I was thinking about. I was like, it'd be cool, like how they have like secret characters on like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. I was like, dude, it'd be cool to have like a Demogorgon as like a
Oh
character,
yeah,
or like Vecna. And
Vecna would be cool.
I was like, well, who would you put like one of the human people? Like, would you put 11, or would you put Hopper? And everyone in my head, I'm just like, well, 11's still a child. Like, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna. I mean, she pretty much is gonna die instantly.
Yeah.
Like, but she does. She is powerful. Whereas, like, dude, Vecna was taking straight fire. Oh, when we go talk about that later, but he can obviously take a lot of damage and not go
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
And Hopper, I'm not saying he's like inhuman. He's obviously human, but he seems to be able to handle his shit. And I was like, I think Hopper and Vecna would be two cool Mortal Kombat
Great
characters.
pals.
Huh?
No, I was like great pals. Never mind.
Great pals. Womp womp.
Um, but yeah, I thought about it. I was like, man, I just can't take 11 seriously as like an actual fighter in a like in
In a
anything.
game.
Period.
Yeah.
Especially in a game like Mortal Kombat. But I could see Vecna being a
Oh
character
yeah.
in Mortal
Oh
Kombat.
yeah, absolutely. Um bah. And like his fatality is the whole like
Oh
breaking of
come on, that would
limbs.
be kind of cool actually. Just see that on
But
video game.
instead of like
All the
taking
fatalities, you just
Yeah,
and
that'd
then
be
but
pretty cool.
yeah. See,
fatality.
there you go. We're giving them ideas, guys. Giving them ideas.
Put Vecna in the next Mortal Kombat. Where are we at? 12 now?
12. Yes, because it was more. Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Mortal Kombat 12, Vecna.
Vecna, Vecna, and the song
DC
that's
player,
playing in the back.
DLC player.
The yes, DLC. The song that's playing in the background. It has to be Master of Puppets.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has to be. There's no ifs ands or buts about it. Vecna's
That and
in.
then freaking Hopper gets his flaming spear and his Conan the Barbarian sword.
yeah. We'll get to that in a bit. That was a great scene.
That was a great scene. As all of that is going on, we get at least 11 comes in, saves the day, throws Vecna into the bleachers, goes to Max and says, "Hi." Like
And then
straight in,
Max is confused. Like, are you part of a dream? Are you like a safety like security thing of my dream? Did I make you up? And
and she's
he's
like,
Mhm.
like,
"No, I just piggybacked." And Max is like, "What?" And
and then Vecna
And it,
creeps his way out of the
and they
bleachers,
and they have a duel. They face off.
and he's like, "That was weak." Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
he's like, "You're not chosen. You're not anything. I'm gonna win this all." Ah,
He was
the
like,
whole
I can't say
time.
that. I can't cuss. Never mind.
You can just a bit.
I
We'll
would.
just leave it.
He was like, "Bitch, please," and just threw her ass to the side or something.
Just like just yeeted her across the
Yeet.
whole
We're
thing.
bringing back yeet. We're bringing
Yeet,
back the word
You
yeet.
know,
Hashtag yeet.
you
yeet.
know,
There you go.
Vecna gets stronger with like every kill. I wonder if like he just like sat in the upside down, just killing Demogorgons to gain more power, just over
He's
and
all
over. Just
suffer for
God,
me.
that's horrible. If that's the case.
R.I.P. those Demogorgons that didn't get to see the light of day.
well, like I'm trying to like imagine like because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, look, I get that you're trying to make a cohesive story, but who's part of the hive mind? Everything that's in the upside down is part of the hive mind, or is it the smoke that you found in the upside down that you get to possess things is part of the hive mind? So
Mm.
theoretic, because would have Vecna gotten hurt if the shadow slash the smoke from the hive mind didn't go into the monsters? Are the monsters part of the hive mind? Or are they only part of the hive mind if they're possessed by the smoke?
That's a good that's a good thought process. Because I mean, if you're talking about like kill wise, how Vecna like gained his powers, wouldn't you think from season 3 the whole mind flare thing that's made out of humans and stuff would have been a total of his kills, and that was like what 30 plus people that they used in order for them to make that mind flare thing or that creature
Yeah,
that was in the mall.
that was such a wicked scene. Just they turn into goop and he.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's 30 people that was killed from that alone. And then whatever else in the mall scenes from the Demogorgons or or the Demodogs or whatever from what season, not mall scene, from season 2.
Yeah. What are the vines? Are the vines part of the upside down, or are they part of Vecna, or are they part
That's
of the smoke? Like,
that's
what are
that's so
they?
hard to figure out and to
Because
differentiate.
obviously the upside down existed before Vecna got there.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
was already its own dimension.
I
You know,
think it's the smoke when he's explaining his story, we'll get into it now. When he's explaining his story to 11 on when he thought that she had sent him to like his death basically, and when he got there to the upside down, it was nothing. It was just these monsters walking around that didn't have really much of an um much of a choice in anything, and then pop up the mind flare, which is that smoke particles thing, and that's what took over him, or
Mhm.
vice versa, or he used it as his power.
He's built different.
So yeah, so maybe he cut a brand deal where he was getting like 75%, I don't know. Like like he maybe just was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this to the advantage that he has because there's no human that's ever been over there, and was like, I'm gonna just take this for myself, use it to my advantage to get where I need it to be, because obviously the upside down didn't look like Hawkins before.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother thing. Did Vecna create the upside down Hawkins with what he knew about Hawkins? Like what? How was? How did it shows Vecna's past or when he got there, and there's nothing that looks like Hawkins, and then all of a sudden, when they're in the upside down, everything looks like Hawkins. So
Well,
how did that all get created?
I think it got created the moment that 11 opened up the door. So he was planning on her to do that. He was making sure that she had a reason to open up the gate, which she touched the Demogorgon, the gate opened. And thus, that's why they're stuck in that time in 1983, the day that Will was abducted. It's because the Demogorgon got out, they got Will, and Will became into the Upside Down. So the moment that that gate opened is the moment that the Upside Down turned into Hawkins. It's basically like the explanation into it is what he was trying to put. Basically, if it wasn't for her to open up the gate and resist it, that it would have been fine. Like everything probably would have still been the way that it was before the gate opened up. And then
I got
every time,
Maybe
yeah,
they'll explain it maybe more next
they
season. But
just need to
yeah,
give us a
I
behind the scenes, like,
maybe
Yeah.
like because maybe you're right. Like whatever dimension it got rifted into, it would have made a copy of that dimension. So
yeah,
before it was like a blank canvas, and as soon as it ripped open, it was like copy.
yeah.
Um, but there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, and maybe they'll never answer. Maybe they're just like, look, we gave an explanation already. Vecna found the shadow thing and he created everything, and
And then it
that's
took
all y'all
him
need to
there.
know. Like, why do y'all need to know more than that?
The lore, sir, the lore, Duffin Brothers. We need more. They gave us
You know,
background on the
documentary.
monsters, but they didn't give us background on how the upside down happened.
I mean, they really haven't even given us a background on the monsters. Like,
Yeah, they did. They did like a 5 minute like stats and everything of the monsters, and that's it.
they did when.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, it's been all over. Like they did it, I think, on Netflix's Facebook or Instagram, where they did like a breakdown of each monster, like
Oh
what
yeah,
Oh,
it
no,
was.
I didn't see
I
that.
know what you're talking about.
That's it. That's all they gave us.
I don't think I saw that. No, I didn't think I saw that.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I've
He
seen
know
it
he
once.
knows. Yeah, it's like a breakdown of what like the monster's height, monster's weight, like basically stats like they would do for football or for WWE superstars or wrestlers and everything. Like they give us that kind of like stats. But that's it. That's all we're gonna get out of it is that.
Yeah,
Um
but okay. So what? So he does his whole backstory and all that, and then pretty much this is kind of when the whole villain montage kind of starts, right?
Cue the
Uh,
montage of his little voice.
because, like you said, Eddie's gonna trapped Dustin up in the thing, and like he started running away with the bats, and then everyone's kind of already starting to lose at this point,
Yes.
or it seems like they're losing. Vecna ties up 11. 11 tries to plead with her. You are not the monster. Papa's the monster. Please, you don't have to do this. And he was just like, Papa was no monster. He was an ordinary man who wanted greatness through people like us.
I'm still trying to convince her to join him and this whole evil plan that he has, and that if she doesn't, that her friends are gonna lose because you're not strong enough like they are, and that practically they're already done, and it shows everyone in their midst of dying. So you have
Yeah, you have
Max being
Eddie.
levitated. Oh, you got
Yeah,
Eddie getting, spun around with all the bats because he's just in the middle waiting for everything that's going to happen. You have Lucas getting choked out by Jason trying to save Max. You have
Robin,
Robin,
Nancy, and Steve getting choked out by the vines.
and then
Uh,
her choked up, and then Max already going to die. Like you're
A lot of stuff
losing.
happening.
A lot of stuff going on. Oh, Hopper getting almost eaten by the Demodog as well
yeah.
too. I could not forget about that as well. Like we're getting all this stuff going on and happening while he's giving his montage telling them that, you've lost this battle. You've lost the battle and that you're not going to make it out of here alive. And she's now she has to watch Max die basically.
Hmm.
And at this point, at the pizza parlor, Mike and all of them are freaking out, so they pull her out of the water. They put her on the table, and this is when Will hits him with, "Don't stop. You're the heart. You got to keep going." And then we get this whole like speech with Mike
You
that
have to drop the L word.
he
Lesbian.
had to stop using lesbians with her. No, he loves her. He says that he loved her from the moment that he saw her in season 1 where she was in that burger shirt, the yellow burger shirt that almost swallowed her whole. And like he was just going like down the list of everything. And I'm just sitting there like as a soppy girl, like, oh my god, like crying
And then
while this
as
is
that's
going on.
happening, you're having Max levitated through the air, and you're like, oh, L's gonna stop her before anything even starts happening. So, whatevs. And all of a sudden, you just kind of see a, oh shit, broken leg, broken arm. Oh, they're gonna do it. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
and then
interesting now.
it cut to Lucas, poor Lucas, witnessing
He's
that.
watching all of it because he's fighting. Honestly, he beat the crap out of Jason, which
He
he was
did.
just like, do, and that's my girl. Like he was like literally there, and like he's just yelling like Max, like while all of it's going on. Poor boy, dude. Like I feel for that kid
Uh, yeah,
watching it.
that actor is such a great actor because
Oh,
even after everything was done, he just looks like he's devastated by
Yeah,
mhm.
everything. And when it was happening, after everything was done, just the whole him and how he acted that entire time was like perfect. He did such a great job.
yeah.
Oh,
Like while all of that's going on, then 11 finally like finds her way and beats what's going on. She beats the vines, then she goes and we get like cuts. We don't get to see what actually happened.
Yeah,
Like
it went
we
to a black screen basically,
Yeah, and then it
right?
kind of was like scene, like you see Vecna falling into something and then like and it goes back to I think everybody else getting released from what's going on, right? I think we get
it's kind of everyone that was losing is starting to win. You
yeah,
get the you get Max getting released. You get Joyce saving Hopper from the Demodog.
the
Um,
bats dying from Eddie
the
like
bats falling out of the
Yes.
sky. Well, not quite yet. So they run, and then Murray comes with the flamethrower, and then after the hive mind, because of the flamethrower, it makes all the bats fall out. It hurts Vecna. It's all a chain effect.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
And then we get
but
that whole epic sword scene, don't we? Well,
yeah,
after the flamethrower thing, we get
So,
Hopper out of there, and
or
then
and then you get Steve, Nancy, and Robin, who got released from the vines as well, going up and finally being face to face with Vecna.
yeah, they get to be face to face with Vecna. They start throwing their what is it called? Their
so the
Molotov cocktails.
Molotov, yeah.
yeah, they start throwing them. I think what they threw
Close. You
us.
just don't want to put these on the floor and smash them with your foot.
Oh yeah. Oh
Mazel
god.
tov.
Never mind.
Never mind. But they threw it like a total of 3 or 4 of them, right?
Two.
Yes,
I
Because
think
they
they
all
only did
hit.
two.
that whole scene was intense because that's when Burn Up the Hill was playing.
Yes,
And
like
Yeah,
then
their
Hopper.
Stranger Things version
Oh
of
yeah,
beautiful. I told you this music, everything in here was just chef's kiss. Because they, like I said, the Duffin brothers are smart because they centered this one song around a whole season worth of of the show. Like it played.
because you would think you're gonna get tired of it, right? Like they're gonna keep playing it and playing it and playing it, but no, they just switched up a couple, beats here and there, and it just made it way better
It
to
just
a
made it
point
so
where,
epic.
yeah, to a point where I like listening to it, like if I'm not doing much, um, but yeah, that scene was intense when Hopper cut off the Demogorgon's head. Oh man,
Oh,
like
and the way that it flew down, it was just like I was
yeah,
just hype. I was like, yes, Hopper did something. Which, by the way, how the hell did a sword just randomly appear? I just want to know, Duffin Brothers, like, how did you manage to get a sword in a prison, a Russian prison, just to sit there nicely after Mister Murray with the damn flamethrower?
flamethrower.
It would have been hot. It would have been too hot to be touching. So, like, mind
He's
blown.
Hellboy.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
His big
yeah.
old hand just grappled the sword.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it was one of the tools that
Ah!
one of the other one of the other prisoners grabbed during that scene where
You
everyone
know
had a
what?
counter
You're not
weapon.
wrong. I didn't even think about that. I forgot about that.
And then so Hopper's fighting the Demogorgon, slices off an arm. Um, I thought about it. I was like, he kind of defeated it more easier than I thought. But at this point, he was already the Demogorgon was already half dead from being like flamethrowed. At this
He was
point,
at
like
25%. He was like right
basically,
there.
like
It
he
wasn't the
was,
full potential.
yeah, like it's like, and Hopper killed the Demogorgon, yeah, but it wasn't like full potential Demogorgon. Like it was already Mortal
It
Kombat,
was
and
mid.
he had like 50% life, and the Demogorgon had like the last little bit of bar left. He sliced off
So
the arm, and it like took off this much off the
Just a bit.
bar. Like
he was in
he
his
had
he was in his final like fatality.
it was the
What's what?
fatality time,
Yeah, there you go.
dude. That
Yeah,
would be his fatality. He would just go and
yep.
just like slide and
Sword.
slop off the
Yep.
arm, and then turn around and whoosh the head.
Off with his head. That's what he's
50%
doing.
royalties by Mortal
Fatality.
Kombat.
Yes, there we go. We're giving him more ideas,
It's just Hopper and Vecna, man. Mortal Kombat.
So after that, we get Nancy and the crew. Nancy's pulling out that sawed off shotgun. She does a total, I think, of 4 shots: 2 into the shoulder. No, 2 into the stomach, 1 into the shoulder, or 2 in the shoulder. So I think it's like in that whole torso area.
Which I don't know why she didn't shoot him in the head, but here we
That's
are.
what I was thinking too. But maybe she lost a little bit of her aim,
Yeah.
from it. But she never misses though. She did not miss a shot at all. Like every single one was a hit.
True.
So
True.
I was okay. And the last one through the
Spitting fire,
chest
bro.
went straight through the window. By the time they got down there,
Michael Myers, he
he was
gone.
gone. I don't. God dang it! Like man, I was so mad. I was like waiting for the music, like Michael Myers music, like that. Like he did.
So, uh, the next scene. Okay, I swear to God, I was laughing my ass off because I thought that was Vecna. Because the next scene it shows Dustin like limping to Eddie, like Eddie. So I thought that was Vecna, like leaving the house.
And so wait, Eddie, come over here. I need you.
He was just like, "Fuck, like, I got messed up." So I seriously thought, like, seriously, watch the scene.
I see
You see
what you mean.
it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I thought that was Vecna. I'm like, what did you show Vecna?
Vecna's like, those damn kids, they got me.
Those damn meddling kids. I didn't think of it that way.
I conquered what? You can't be doing this to me right now. Next time I see y'all, I'm gonna mess y'all up.
I'm gonna rock y'all's world, man.
But yeah, like obviously when that happened, that's when Dustin reunites with Eddie, and Yeah, I guess the many sad scenes that happened in this episode alone, it happened. We had a little small. Man, it was really sad between Eddie and Dustin towards the end.
Like that was someone that Dustin looked up to now. Like I know that there was like a whole friendship and a brotherhood built with Steve, but in this moment, it felt more, I guess, real because saw Eddie on a daily basis at school, and like they bonded whenever they were building the weapons, you know.
Hmm.
And like we got little bits here and there, and like now really seeing it and everything, it kind of like hit a little bit, just because I felt not only did I feel bad, but I felt like that friendship really grew this season. And him watching someone die, obviously, I felt like it was going to hurt a lot just because, for one, it was someone that he looked up to, and two, like, it's just Dustin. He's a kid. He doesn't want to see anybody die. Like,
Yeah.
and at least from the wise words of Eddie the Banished, he said that he did not run. And boy, he did not run. And I wish
Ugh,
you ran. I wish you ran.
that
Like,
was so sad.
he went
I
through
didn't run
it.
away this time.
He did not run away this time. He did it for Chrissy, and I appreciate everything that he did. And honestly, at Loki though, I did laugh a little bit because Dustin was like, "We need to just get you to a hospital. You're gonna be okay."
Oh, and
And
he's
he
like,
tries to,
okay.
yeah, and he tries to lift him, and he's like, "Okay, I guess we're not going to a hospital." Like, bro, you broke your leg. How are you gonna lift this man up into there? Like, I don't know. It had
Adrenaline.
me, yeah, he was gonna magically walk. But after
Um,
that little bit of a scene, we get Max
I
falling from
wanted to, I
the.
wanted to say
Oh,
something.
go ahead.
So during that scene, it made it pretty adamant. Eddie made it pretty adamant that he wanted Dustin to say that he was gonna take care of the other guys, like to protect them. I forget the exact words, but I think it was like, "Make sure you take care of them. Promise me that you're gonna protect them," or something like that. I forget
Yeah.
exactly what he says. So that makes me theorize that next season, that idea is gonna pop in Dustin's brain. He's gonna sacrifice himself and die for one of the other guys,
stop.
because and that scene's gonna pop back up with him and Eddie. In that scene where he's like, "Promise you're gonna protect him," and he's like, "I promised Eddie," and he's gonna go leap into a freaking like fiery pit or something and push someone out of the way, or I don't know. He's gonna. I think that's my prediction.
I think
What
I
if
would
it's
cry if
just
that happens.
if it
Dustin's
does
gonna die
happen?
next
Not
season.
Dustin. What if we're just gonna keep on going with this? What if he tries to sacrifice himself and then Eddie comes back from the dead because he's a vampire or something? And then just no, don't take off your headphone.
He's dead, Tiff. Just
No,
get over it. He's
no,
dead.
no.
He's
The
not
lore.
coming back as a bat.
No, he's coming back as a bat.
It's Ozzy Osbourne.
He ate the bat, man. He's gonna do it. The bat ate him actually, but he's coming back as a bat. I believe it. The second time seeing this scene, it really didn't hit me as much as it did the first time around. But
Yeah.
I think it's just me being like, I believe that he may come back next season and everything. So I just think that's why it didn't hit me as hard as it did the first time around. But
Mhm.
But
lo and
should. He's
behold,
never coming back.
you know what? He's coming
It's gonna
back.
be a memory when he comes back.
A
It's gonna be a
memorial.
memory.
I never said how he was gonna come back. He was just gonna come back somehow.
She's got a point though. She's got a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not gonna come back alive. That's for sure.
Cass wasn't alive anyways. He was dead.
Who?
Cass, the one that they're saying that he's gonna come back as, supposedly.
Oh, the undead.
Oh, okay.
Ha! So
Okay.
he is not alive. He's coming back though. Just a different version. You know what? We're gonna go off this topic because we're
I'm
gonna go
clip
into
that. I'm
the
gonna use that for everything.
ah.
But that's my theory. I think Dustin is going to sacrifice himself in a very sad. It's going to be very gripping. You're just going to be like, I can't believe he just did that. What the hell's his problem?
Damn.
No.
We cut into the next scene. It is we get the sad music playing, and already I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So this scene hit me harder than Max running through the
Oh yeah, for sure.
upside down because we
Yeah.
already knew what fate was gonna happen. We get the sad music playing. We get Lucas holding on to Max, She says that, oh man, I'm gonna start tearing up. She says that she can't feel her legs. She can't
Can't feel
feel
anything.
nothing,
Yeah.
and that she can't see. And it
I
Lucas is trying to assure her like everything's okay, like, we're gonna be okay. They're gonna get help and everything. And then Erica finally gets herself through the door, and you just see the distraught look on Lucas's face, like, Erica, go get help, go call 911. And I'm just like, oh my
apparently
god,
that was all improvised, by the way, by the actor.
really?
Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but it's pretty top tier acting right there. Yeah, it's me. But yeah, that was very sad. I just what that scene was sad in general, but the line that really like I just like my heart like sank was when she's like, "I'm not ready to die."
I'm not ready to die. I didn't want to,
That's
like,
when I'm just like, "Oh my god!" Like I'm seriously about to cry over a show right now. Like right now.
I cried
Like
twice.
seriously.
It got me.
Yeah.
It got me. Like, I thought it wasn't gonna catch me the second time. I was like, nah, it's not gonna catch me because I know what's gonna happen. It still caught me. I'm over there crying. Frank's like, why are you crying? I'm like,
I was just gonna say, how was Frank doing?
he just walks in like, all right,
Damn.
I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna
You need
go.
you
I'm
need
gonna
some
head out.
water or like what's up? Like
Come in with refreshments. No, and that's because I was in the middle of building this thing behind me while I was watching that too, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, crying, and then like, bro, I was done. Like, it hit me knowing that she wasn't gonna make it.
mhm.
And then when he screamed Erica help, like while she's trying to go call for help, it just kind of was like, okay, this is sealing the book, like she's gonna die. On the opposite end though, in the upside down, 11's with them as well too.
Yeah.
Like, she's there and watching her die basically. But 11 doesn't have anybody to confine to, nothing. It's just her. And then Max and Lucas are together. But we know that Max dies. You hear the 4 chimes from the clock, and we all know that that means that something bad's gonna happen. Cue the tearing of all the portals or the gates.
Gates, yeah.
We get Jason that gets his own demise, gets his body split in half
Little
while
relief.
everything's going. Yeah, a bit of a relief, the most hated character this season. Um,
Hmm.
Everything just starts to open, which by all means, I wonder how cars got around that hole though in the middle of the
Oh,
street. I'm just like, someone went beep beep, went into the upside down that wasn't supposed to be
imagine
there.
that. F that.
How do you claim
I
that on
wonder if that's what happened
insurance?
to people. Like they all
Yeah.
just like fell through and they're all trapped in the upside down. Like they didn't die, they just went to the upside down
Yeah,
and
you had
then
a red
probably got
light.
eaten.
Yeah,
You had a red light and your car just sinks down. It's
you're like, ah, dang it, dies.
And like what happened? I guess I don't know, because Jason just got like torn apart.
yeah.
Like
Like, it's incinerated.
yeah, like would it?
I
Would
think
you?
all the rest of them would have, but I was talking about like before. So like before the whole portal thing, they figured out where there was a port or a gate everywhere that a death happened. I'm just wondering, the casual person that thought it was like a speed bump, they accidentally like went straight through in it. But like,
That's
how do you claim?
horrible.
They're like, oh my god, let me slow down a bit, and then boop. Vecna's like, hey, welcome to the upside down. But like, how do you claim that on your insurance, man? Like, my car got damaged. My car got damaged through the upside down. Like, there's no box to fill it in.
Not
You
insurance.
know, I like
But no
now that I'm
insurance.
really thinking about it. The trailer was the only way to really get into the upside down, like because the way that portal was, because it was on a roof, they could fall. But any portal that's on a ground, like you wouldn't be able to fall. You would just have to climb through it, I guess. You would have to climb. No, well, you'd go downward
Nah,
and then like upward, like
back up. Hmm.
but like how? because on the other way you're falling through. You know what I mean? Like you're falling down, but from the ground up, you're not falling. You're going next to it. So you would go into the ground and then
Climb back up. Like
up,
you're going
or would
up
you just get
into it.
stuck? You're just like the rope, just chilling. Like okay, well, someone needs to pull me out now.
I guess like the way that it was, because honestly we can go through Watergate and then the one that was in the road. The one with Watergate, Steve didn't necessarily go through it. It was the vine that pulled him back in. So we
Mm.
Yeah,
really
and
didn't.
you didn't even see the other guys come through it. So
Yeah,
I'm assuming they just went through and pulled themselves up.
yeah. Like they, like the whole getting up mechanism thing. Like they swam through it. Yeah, they went through it, and then they kind of like got the leverage to pull themselves up because the way that it fell through.
Hmm.
Which in there and that in the upside down there was no water there for the lake anyways. So basically it just felt like they were just walking through the
See, that
portal.
would make sense if there was water, because then you could just swim through it and swim up to the other side.
Yeah, but this time there wasn't. So it basically was like they went just through it versus it being like the way that it was in the trailer, how it was flipped.
Mm.
Mm.
Anyway,
Anyways,
let's go past this. So four chimes happen and the world starts ripping apart.
yes, yes, yes. And then what? We get a blank screen.
And it says 2 days
No,
later.
no. Then Elle is like, nope, not on my watch. She's coming back alive
Boop.
right now. And then she does something, and then
Which
two
was
days
very
later,
surprising.
Yeah, she sparked the heart to restart again,
Hmm.
which stopped the whole process of all of this that Vecna wanted.
Yeah.
And by all means, if she knew how to do that, why couldn't she save Bob? Why couldn't she save
Bailey.
everybody else like that? Why couldn't she save Billy? Like,
Red flag 11.
red flag number 1, not saving Bob. Red flag number 2, not saving Billy.
Yep. Yep.
Red flag number 3, not saving your own dad, man. Why
well,
aren't you saving? Why
I
aren't
don't
you
know how you're gonna
saving
save someone
Papa?
who had a giant hole through their chest,
Look, man, you can still save
aka
him.
Billy.
Hey,
Yeah.
Papa too, man. Papa too, because Papa died by a gunshot. She could have still saved him. He was
No,
on
I don't
his
think she
last
want to save him.
leg.
I don't think she
You
want to
know,
save him.
you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. You're right.
yeah. She was like, like
She's I'm gonna save it for Max later. I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go though. Trying to
All right,
call
so
her.
we go 2 days later, and the pizza truck is running through Hawkins while lots of vehicles are exiting Hawkins,
Like
and
butt ton going through. They're like, nope, we ain't dealing with this drama, this
we start
tragic area.
kind of getting a small little montage of like a newsreel talking about the things that have been happening in Hawkins. Um, they blame a satanic cult called Hellfire with its leader Eddie Munson,
And that he's been missing
and that
since.
he's been missing and presumably dead. Um, and
We get the whole United scene with all of
yeah,
them together.
everyone gets together. Nancy and Jonathan finally see each other after a while. Steve and what's the girl like Robin? Robin consoling Steve because he's
Like,
put his
it's
head
okay.
down, like
that's sad.
eh.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone just meeting up, talking, and then kind of just catching up with things, and then they go see Lucas and Max in the hospital, where Lucas is reading to Max a book. I think it's called The Talisman.
Hmm.
Um, and Lucas kind of has a little bit of a black eye at this point.
Yeah, he's
Um,
swollen in his face, man.
Swelled up, and he's just all kinds of hurt.
Yeah, he talked to Mike and Will and said that he tried calling them, that they couldn't get a hold of them to tell them what was going on. Um, 11 knows what happens, but like the rest of the guys don't really know, so they kind of like talk about it a bit. While 11 is just sitting next to Max and tries to look for her in the upside down like she did with Mama and with Billy, and she can't find her at all. Like it's just blank. Like you don't hear nothing, you don't see nothing. She's screaming for Max, and We know that she's there and she's still alive. It's just we have no control on her mind. Like she's basically kind of like brain dead at this point. So that's kind of sad to hear, you know. No change in health, but we do get all the crew. I think it's Steve, Dustin, and Robin at the gym, at the Hawkins gym.
Oh,
Kind
okay,
of like
yeah.
the earthquake relief. We get them kind of like asking to see if there's anything that they can do to help.
Volunteer.
Volunteer wise, we get Robin making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with the girl that she's in love with, Vicky.
Picky.
Vicky does say that her boyfriend did kind of dump her and was like, "Peace, I ain't dealing with this kind of drama of your city, so I'm gonna go back to college, have fun with that." And Robin kind of like raises an eyebrow and was like, "Oh, you say so, huh?" And then they just start bonding. They start talking. You get Steve over there folding clothes,
Looking
just
like a dad.
smiling. He's all, good job, Robin." And he's happy with what he's doing as well too, because you know what? As long as someone's happy with what they're going through, he's okay. If he sees Robin happy, he's happy.
I think what's funny is like, you know, Robin finally mentally and facially had to
Admit that Steve was right about something because he even says, as soon as he started trashing Fast Times, I should have just ended it right there. And that was one of Steve's main rebuttals, was that she likes Fast Times, like, and she pauses
Ooh.
at this specific scene on the movie, and you know, um, it's just funny, like Robin's so socially awkward. Like, it's always funny to me, like the way people like to judge intelligence, where like obviously Steve is very intelligent when it comes to like people skills and talking to people, and Robin's like book smart, intelligent, but has no social skills like whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just funny to have to, in her mind, I could see it. She was admitting that my man Steve was finally right about something,
Hmm.
at least in her eyes.
Yeah.
He's always right about everything.
Then we get Dustin passing around waters to everybody that's kind of like in the bed area. He does see Eddie Munson's uncle there posting up a photo because they trashed the other one before, so he posted it again and he kind of talked to him a little bit, gave him his
It's a guitar
his
pick.
his guitar pick. Sorry, that was hard to fuddle. But he sat down and talked with him and told him, I was with him whenever the earthquake happened. Talked to him that said that he wished that people would understand him and realize how much of a good person that Eddie was. And he did what he could for this city, even though that he hated them. Like they hated him and that he was a monster, but he
Like hero.
died for them. And
Yeah.
I was just sitting there like, "Oh my god." Like it kind of hit home because you know what? He did everything that he could for them even though he thought, maybe at this time it was the right thing to do, but no one's going to know that he did that for them, which is kind of sad.
When you
Which
when you
I'm
thought the
glad.
sadness was done with, that scene happened.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
thought you went over the hill and nope, you went back
Yeah.
up another climax. But that scene was really nice, sweet, and sincere. So we got a little bit of a reassurance, though.
Hmm.
I do want to point out, though, the poster that the uncle was posting on the board, the missing sign, it wasn't from the date time that they put for this year and for this season. I think the season was from March 31st or March 29th, 1985, if I'm not mistaken. The
Uh,
poster that the uncle posted was missing from March 31st or 29th of 1983. So it puts him like back 2 years
oh, you
as he
mentioned
made.
that.
Yes, I
You
did
mentioned
mention
that.
this. That it was like a little. I guess it was like an error again, like they did for Will's birthday
Hmm.
as well. But I think that they
just fucking
mentioned
up them dates all the time.
all the time. But that's why everyone thinks he's coming back. because
Oh.
technically he didn't die. Like he was he's been gone. Maybe it was a doppelganger or something. Um, but on the date there, it does say from 1990 and 1983 on there instead of the 85 that it was. But they did mention that he did fail high school a senior year twice. And he made that apparent not once but twice when he was talking about it. That this was going to be his year to pass. So just a little Easter egg to put in there because I still think he's alive. So I'm gonna keep my with it. But we continue on. We get the whole crew back at the Hopper's old house because they have to hide 11 now. Put her somewhere where it's not noticeable. We get everyone trying to fix up the house. Will does mention that he feels Vecna's still alive. He can feel him there. He didn't feel it when he was in California, but he feels him more now when they're there in
Mhm.
Hawkins. Um, we get Jonathan and Nancy talking about their love life relations. If he ever got that acceptance letter, but he never did. He never
Still
submitted
lying.
one, and he's still lying. So why you lying? Like why? Just tell her the truth, man. Just let her go to Steve. That's all we need. But
Yeah, and then she defended Steve too. Whenever he's like, "If you weren't here, I mean, who would be in charge, Steve?"
Yeah.
She was like,
Yep.
"Steve's grown up quite a bit, jerk face."
at least he told me if he got into college or not.
Damn.
He
Steve was
told me.
already clear. He's too dumb to go to college.
Yeah, because she had to help him a lot with his you know, his science, those little chemistry questions. But we get the cutest scene that we do. We have the door kind of three quarters of the way open or like closed. And then you hear footsteps and we all think, "Oh my god, it's someone that's going to come and kidnap 11." We get Hopper that walks back in the scene. You get her, "I left the door open. I left the door open always like you said." And I'm just like, my god, cutest thing. He looks like a total dad. Like he's been through
Oh,
some
and his
shit.
hat.
Yeah,
His
the way
hat and
that his
his
hat is tucked in
jeans
very
and
with his
yeah.
jeans. Oh man, he had the freaking New Balances on. I can't.
He lost so much weight. It's like
He
Yeah.
really did. It looks so scary.
Get
Like
ready for Hellboy.
yeah, but
is he
he
playing Hellboy? Is that why you keep
yes
saying that? I
yes
didn't
Yeah.
he
know.
is. He's the actor now for Hellboy.
I think they already released it like a couple years ago or
Hmm.
last year. I don't know, something like that. But yeah.
Okay, the newer Hellboy. I watched that
Yeah,
one recently.
Yeah.
It was
that's your Hellboy.
Yeah, it wasn't
Meh.
nah.
It was mid. It was mid.
That's probably below mid, but yeah.
I gave him credit, okay? He's an Emmy nominated. He was
Oh,
a part of the Emmy
for
nominated team.
sure, for sure.
But I digress. They had a cute little moment, and then we get all of them outside. The girl that kind of told Hopper where 11 was at. They're all there, and then they all start walking in the field.
Hmm.
Oh, little weird, little weird. They're all walking in the field. They
well.
see,
They are you about to say about what the big reveal? What they see at the end?
yeah.
So they start
Oh, it's
seeing
the
what they think.
snow,
They start thinking it's snow,
but it's
and
not.
then anyone who knows who's been in the Upside Down knows it isn't. And so everyone was looking. You get this montage of everyone in all their different places. Steve and Robin at the gym, and
Justin
Dustin, and
outside with
then
it.
Lucas and Erica at the hospital. And for some reason, I feel like they want to make Mike and Nancy's mom like some kind of main character.
Because they used her as well too a
They,
lot more.
yeah, they put her in that little montage scene as well.
Well, she did
With
get
her
her own
dog.
promo poster.
Yeah, and she got her own
Oh,
promo poster, and it just it confuses me. I don't know. Maybe she's gonna be a bigger part next season, but
Maybe so.
it's like they do really want to push her to be like one of the main. Maybe she's a famous actor from another series, and I just don't know her or watched the series before.
yeah, no.
I don't know, but they do try to push her as like being like some kind of main actor, or not main, but one of the co head.
Co-mains. Yeah.
Um, and then you can continue. Now they start walking out into the field.
Yeah, because
They start walking out of
Will
the
had
field.
got goosebumps Then
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Then they go out into the field, and then you get all of them kind of like this strong Stranger Things song. You know what I mean. The hard synths going on. Then you get them looking out into the the sky. You see red lightning, which sounds so familiar from someone that predicted this on one of our episodes before.
One of those
Um,
weirdos.
I know, man. Uh,
But yeah.
big lightning, everyone's kind of like, and then what was there a mind flare? I don't think there was. There
No,
might have been. No,
No,
it was just a
no.
big lightning, and then they kind of cuts off
Yeah.
after that.
yeah, it's just a smoke coming out of the ground, and then
Oh,
the
like a
red,
battle. Yeah, I got you. Now
and
I
then like
remember.
the cracks were bigger in the ground, which I'm still like thoroughly confused on how like season 5's gonna happen because I've read already like some articles that said that there's gonna be another time jump.
Time lapse. Yep.
Yeah, another time lapse. So it's just like how? How do you time lapse from that? Like
Yeah,
because I mean that's gonna I don't know. To me it's like that's gonna take immediate precedent like attention. Like you're not
Hmm.
just gonna be like, all right, well I'm gonna shelf you for about a year and then I'll come back to you. Like you need to take care of this shit now. I don't know.
but
So that was the end.
that was the end of two
Yep.
hours and 45 minutes of Stranger Things. We knocked it down to an hour and 36, so you don't have to watch the full thing, at least. But honestly, this season was really good. Like I said, the cinematic version, like the way that they did everything, the way that they played into the song, made it all about it this season was really good and spot on. Like I really do give them very good props on using the song, which is the Kate Bushes running up that hill. They used it themed the whole season behind it, and honestly, I give them props. Like if I would rate this season, it's one of my tops to watch
For
rewatch
sure.
over and over again. But what
That's
did
not
y'all
a
guys
rating.
think? I know it's not a rating. I would give it like
Like if
five.
I were to rate this season, one of the tops.
One of
Like,
the tops. One of the tops.
Is
Well,
it a
it's so
5 out of
hard.
5?
No,
Like
no, no. You know what? We won't rate it until we watch all the rest of the seasons. I'm telling you, it's in my top, but we'll rate it once we
That
finish
is
all the
true.
seasons.
this is
Okay. Yeah.
definitely number. Honestly, they just got better and better. Like every season topped every other season in this series.
I
It
want to
just,
know your budget for season 5, Duffin Brothers. We need to
which
know.
I'm which like I'm kind of like sitting where Drew was sitting in season 3. Like how are they gonna top season 4?
Hmm.
Like because it's
Yeah.
just so epic. It's just like what are y'all
No,
gonna
it's
do that's
true.
gonna
Yeah.
be even more epic than this season? Like they're gonna have to fight actual fucking dragons. Like there's no way around it.
You're
Like
gonna fight the
they're gonna
three-headed
have to get
dragon.
custom upside down magical armor with swords,
Oh my god!
and they're gonna have
Made
to
out
go
of
fight a dragon.
made out of the Demogorgon skin,
Yeah,
bro.
I think.
I'm
the
I
done.
little
think.
Demogorgon like head, like when you kill like a bear or something, and you have the what do
I
they call
fucking
it?
can't. The little hat, the
Yeah,
little.
it's just Demogorgon freaking head like over their
Ah,
head.
I can't.
Look. Season 5. All right. Last episode. They're getting destroyed, right? By Vecna and the Demogorgons, all that. Then all of a sudden you hear family.
Oh no, not Don Toretto.
That will top every season.
He's the one that went in through the portal whenever they went to slow.
Yes.
I can't. Oh my god. Hold on.
Dominic Toretto comes to save
Before
the
we
day.
go into the character details, I have to run to the bathroom. It seems like this season I'm running to the bathroom more often. But okay,
Okay.
so I'm gonna be right back.
All right. We'll be back.
So I'm thinking
What I miss? What you
that
thinking?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know how they're gonna like continue this like arc. Like
That's a lot of pressure. Like that's a lot of like.
what I hear from people that like or they're in the phase of ending a series, they usually actually write their last season to coincide with their second to last season. It's usually
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much pretty much they already know how they're going to end it.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They've already decided like how they're going to end this series already and what they're going to do. Like, and to me personally, you would not put out something this epic if you already knew how you were going to end it. If you didn't think you had
That's a
something
good
that was
point.
going to be just as good or even better than that. So I do have faith that everything's going to be good. I'm just like, how much more this season was very different and special because a lot of the other seasons really relied on L kind of being like the superhero or the main hero in a sense.
Hmm.
Whereas this one, the humans or just the normies, whatever you want to call them, they you know, it was Nancy, Robin, and Steve who like literally like messed up Vecna in his own like state. It was Steve who literally ripped a bat in half. It was Hopper who chopped the Demogorgon's head off. It was a lot of things that the humans were finally being able to fight back and win
Hmm.
against these monsters. So like how much further are we going to go? Are they going to be also a very critical part of? When I say critical, I mean, are they going to be all weaponed up next season? With like swords and shit, and they're going to be like, now you see it in like video games a lot. I don't know if they're going to take that off video games, but you beat a boss who's like a hard boss in like the first like level, and then
Yeah.
that's literally like one of the regular monsters you fight on level 5. It's like 3 of them, and you just kind of like fight them all easily. So now
Uh-huh.
that they've already beaten a Demogorgon, even though it wasn't at full capacity, um, next season it's like, oh, now we're all killing Demogorgons, like
Hmm.
it's nothing. Um,
You get a Demogorgon kill. You get a Demogorgon kill. You get a Demogorgon kill, basically.
like I don't know, like it just if it's not hell on earth for the last season, then I don't know what else they're gonna do because
Yeah.
anything else sounds lame. When the more I think about it,
Going back into the upside down again, I see.
like like how many episodes are you gonna go or do where they're I don't know.
This kind of
Just
reminds me of the whole Infinity War and Endgame from Marvel. You
uh
know,
huh.
literally reminds me of that. I feel like season 5 is gonna end on such a like sweet note, like a nice happy note. The way how if you haven't seen Endgame, anybody, but the way Steve Rogers is with that lady that he's
Peggy,
always loved. Yeah,
Peggy Carter.
and then I feel like it's gonna end with either Max or Lucas being like that, or Steve and
Nancy
Nancy.
finally having their 6 little nuggets in the
Yeah.
Winnebago.
So like I feel like all obviously chaos happened in Infinity War and then in Endgame, then it just ended like that perfectly.
I think it
So
would be lame to have an ending where they did like a montage caption of every person when they got older, but then it would also be like
oh
very
yeah.
concluding, like if they were just like, you know, 20 years later or whatever, shows everyone in there, whatever's going on. Um, I mean, how are you gonna fix Max? She's blind, she's broken. Is she gonna stay blind? Is she gonna get powers because she got like,
I
she was a
mean,
survivor. She was the one who lived, you know.
isn't
Uh,
Owen still alive? Owen's a
yeah.
doctor.
I think
Uh-huh.
so.
So they might I don't know, like they could try to fix her up or something.
Yeah, use
So
her in some way, somehow to get her back her mobility and her eyes.
that'll be wild.
Lived.
Um,
Max Mayfield.
Honestly, I think that they might pull this may be like a long stretch. They might do how like for the movie It for Stephen King, you know how it took like that time jump for like 30 years or so or
Hmm.
whatever, like they had to defeat this monster again and then he ended up being defeated and like they left more on a more nicer note after that. I think that may be like the case of our time jump. We may go back, we may go forward very long period of time, maybe like 5 years to 10 years versus how it's been like every couple of months or so. They may do a bigger jump and they may have it where like okay, now they have to figure out how they're gonna defeat everything, and I don't know. I just feel
I
like
want
that
a
will
real
be it.
jump, like 5 years. Max has already had 3 kids from Lucas, and he's a deadbeat dad. and,
Stop. He went to the store to go get some milk and cigarettes and
then,
never came back.
Yes.
and then you got Will, who's like lost all his hair. He looks like Murray at this point. He's just like he's trying to
Stop.
get the baby formula, but Elle's just like, you better go get that before I mind power your ass, and you know just all kinds of shit, man. Freaking Dustin's all ripped, and he's like, "I'm gonna protect you all."
I can't.
He's like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I just, I don't know what's gonna happen. I like everything that I try to think of. It just seems like I'm gonna be wrong, so I just don't even want to think about it anymore. Like, there's just so much that can happen. The only things that I'm pretty positive about are, one, there's gonna be a 3-headed dragon because of the artwork
The art
that
piece, yeah.
Will showed. Two, Dustin's gonna make a big sacrifice, and he may not die, but it's gonna be some kind of big sacrifice, whether he does die or you think he's gonna die. And three, Will is somehow gonna be connected to Vecna. And I don't know if it's exactly like he's gonna be taken over by Vecna, or that he's gonna be the key to defeating Vecna in the end. That's pretty much like my 3 guesses of what for sure is coming in the next season. Everything else I have no idea about.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what kind of time jump they're gonna do. I can accept that the portal opened. It took them a while to figure out how to close the portal. So maybe it's the same way with this. These giant rifts open, and a few months and maybe a year has passed by, and they finally figured out a possible way to like do that, and that's the season we see is them putting that plan into action.
They're over here with cement trucks just sealing off the whole thing.
So
They're like, we figured it out, guys. We used the cement powers, and then just
We've
kind of
lost
like,
many Mexicans trying to seal the cement holes. But, it's for the greater good. We open the
gonna do-
borders for them.
Frank, cut this out.
it's fine. It's fine. We're all Mexican. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm a head out, guys. Guys, Viva la Mexico.
Oh, this is the
Gosh.
perfect shirt. They're just gonna have an end of the world party.
Oh,
That's it.
There you go.
Do that in, Franco.
There you go. Do your magic of editing.
Um,
So, as I spoken before, we could talk about the character development. Who do we think had the best character development this season
Oh,
that we saw
shoot.
grow?
Okay.
I mean, if we're talking like seriously, like Lucas had the biggest character development. Like he went from like this carefree kid to this kind of an asshole, kind of ex or boyfriend. He wasn't really an asshole, but he was that type of boyfriend.
He was trying to fit into the assholery.
Yeah,
Like when he was,
and that wasn't
you
his.
know.
That was
Yeah, that
And then
wasn't
he
his.
grew from that to like as soon as he found out Max was in trouble to like the most caring, the most compelling, wanting to make sure she was okay, like emotional wise, like definitely. I think Lucas and definitely Max, both of them actually, were the two, to me, biggest like whoa, they changed up some shit.
Yeah, got you. Honestly, I would have to say Steve. Steve, we've seen him grow from season 1 being a butthole to like now, where he realizes his mistakes, he realizes what he's done, and what he can do
Every
to
girl's
possibly
dream
fix it.
for a
Yes.
guy to realize his mistakes.
I'm all thank you, Steve. But honestly, seeing him basically grow up, like after him and Nancy broke up, and seeing him develop his own way of thinking and his way of how he can, fix the bad to good in some kind of aspect. Like he sees the good into things now versus the way he was before, where he just wanted to get into Nancy's pants and be like deuces
Mhm.
afterwards,
Oh, yeah.
He changed a lot, and we see it this season because he's matured. Even Nancy says it too. Like he's grown up. He's
Y'all
changed.
brought up good points. Honestly, I was way out of no,
What's yours? Come on, come on.
no. Like, because I was gonna say, because you said best all around like character the whole like this season or like throughout every season.
Honestly, I did Steve because this season we kind of see him a little bit more mature. But
Mhm.
like I'm talking like this season in general, but also to like from where they started to where they're at now.
Yeah. No, Flint just brought up a good point about Lucas. I didn't even think about that because yeah, it's true. He started off wanting to fit into the assholery, the jock world, but then he realizes, no, that's not the route you want to go through. Because when they have parties, obviously he was throwing up. He's not used to that world, this and that, and he can already tell he didn't want to get into that world much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Lucas is, yeah, shit, I didn't think about that. Lucas is definitely one of the top characters this season.
I mean, he even says in the last episode, he's like, I wanted to be you. You know, he's like,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
it turns out, he's like, I wanted to be normal. He's like, but turns out normal is just a raging psychopath. Yeah.
Yep.
He did say it. He did say it.
I
Damn.
was like, dang. He went hard.
But this is our season finale for us. We
Wait,
will
wait, wait. We still have one more to talk about.
what? What is it?
Why L is a lame protagonist.
Oh my god, here we go. We weren't gonna
Look,
bring this up. We weren't.
okay, like
JK.
this is my deal, is that like any actual like show you watch where people either have powers or something, they either have different types of skills or and some of them are physical. You do have some mentalists, some people that
Yeah.
have psychic powers, but they usually could also do some fighting and kung fuing in between that and stuff. um or they just kind of look badass, and I think they tried to make L like the lookery badassness in season 2. um because when they did that flashback scene whenever she's like with mama, um like the way they were trying to make her look like she was like an emo, more pale, you can see
Oh, we don't
the
talk about
difference.
that episode. We
And
don't count
no,
that
no,
episode.
but like even before that, like before she even met up with her other sister, you could tell the color grade they were using on her skin was a lot more gray than like this one, where it's a lot more
More brighter. Yeah.
natural skin color. And I think they were trying to give her a more darker looks because people probably complain like, oh, this little girl, she's supposed to be like this powerful thing, kind of like I am right now. And it's just like it's so hard to take it seriously because like she doesn't even do anything like to really gain much more power. Like, yes, they try to set it up this whole season where like she's gonna go through her past memories and somehow it's gonna unlock an even more powerful power than she had before. But like it wasn't like she trained or did anything extra to get that power. It was just locked inside of her. It's
Mhm.
just such a lame protagonist story. Like I wish that there was like something that she could do. Like I guess to me, whenever you watch shows or something, like let's just put it this way. Thor has to fight Thanos, right? For Thor to fight Thanos, he needs a stronger weapon because, his whatever. He goes through a whole thing. He goes through this battle, he goes through all this suffering and stuff, and so he can get this bigger weapon, this better weapon, so he can grow stronger. That's like the pretty much the hero story in every movie or every show you watch. When someone wants to grow stronger, they have to go through some kind of like hard task or something that's going to really push them to their limit,
Okay.
or they gain like some kind of magical something. Obviously there's not real magic, I guess, if you're going to technically say, I don't know if you consider everything that goes on in Stranger Things magic at all, because it might be magic too.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just don't like it. Like I wish there was more than just her putting up her hand and making like things happen. And like,
Yeah.
oh, she's more powerful than the Vecna because of the power of friendship. Oh my god. Like,
The power of friendship.
I don't
But
know.
Friends don't
It
lie.
just
honestly,
it just annoys me. But I wanted to get y'all's opinion on what y'all think.
okay.
What do y'all think
So
of
I, I'm
of
a, I'm
L?
a, I'm a, s- I feel like I may just be very harsh on it, but like she's as the protagonist, like she is a solid 10. because you have a trauma story that she has. She
Okay.
got taken away from her from her mother. She never got to
Mhm.
see her after that. When she did see her, she was in some kind of distraught disarray where she didn't know why she was taken. Basically, like she had to go to her mom to figure out why she is what she is and what her creation is. And then she loses a lot of people when she does go into battle, or she may lose a part of herself in there. And I feel like with her, it's kind of the whole arc of her figuring herself out, with all dealing with her trauma the way that she does, dealing with the loss of her mom and being taken away from her mom, dealing with some doctor trying to make her into something that she doesn't want to be, then going into someone else that's trying to make her into something else that she doesn't want to be a part of. It's just kind of like a trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma thing with her. And I feel like that's what gives her the best protagonist like storyline, because in every hero storyline you have to have something very traumatic happen, and in every villain story arc you have to have something that the protagonist did in order for
Yep.
you to have that hero. And we see this a lot better in this season than we have seen in previous
Mhm.
seasons. I feel like now she may be a little bit more stronger than we thought. Yeah, she went a little weak on season 3 because what she did lose her powers in that, and then we felt that a little bit this season. But as she progressed in every season, she progressed her power, but then lost it because the antagonist was like, "I want your power now, and I'm gonna take it." And that's what made her, I think, a very strong part of the season. I mean, I wish they would have changed up the way that they did her, hand movements and everything. Instead of it being always her hand, it could have just been with the look, or it could have been with like a head turn or something different versus just the hand itself. But I hope with season 5 they do something different than just the hand. I feel like it would just be something better that way.
So
Come on, Matilda. Come on, Matilda, with the fucking
well,
finger. Like,
you brought up another point that also, now that you mention it, also upsetted me, which is that she made everything about her personality her powers. And even when she went to school and she didn't have her powers, she felt like she wasn't worth anything. And then instead of her finding self worth, she just went and got her powers back again. Like she never was like, oh well, being human isn't that bad, or finding, not having powers isn't that, well, she's human obviously, but being just a normal human isn't that bad or anything. Like she literally copped out and was just like, oh, you gonna give me my powers back? Hell yeah, let's go do this. Like, oh, the whole her not having powers, she completely, they didn't even give her a chance, an arc, nothing. She took it the worst way possible. She didn't even like really try to like have any confidence in herself. And the only thing in her head made her was her powers. And
yeah,
that never changed because she just went back and got her powers. Like, which I get, that's her character. She is a
yeah,
character with powers, and obviously we need these powers to progress the story and things that are happening. But it just, to me, also gives a really bad example to like just being a normal person. It's like she hated being normal so bad, and that annoys me too. They didn't give her like a, you know what, I'd be okay with never having my powers again. Instead she was like, I'm just a loser. I'm a loser and I'm a loser.
oh goodness. All right, Drew, what do you think? You'll finish us off here, man.
That was y'all's debate. I have no heat. I have no heat with L. All right.
He's
So
like, look, man, I'm in the middle. I'm just gonna be Switzerland. I'm just gonna just gonna be neutral here. But
But
honest,
to go back on what you said, yes, you're right. I, I guess to reword what I said, as a powered hero, she annoys me as being
yeah,
the main powered hero. But as to her arc, yeah, she has a really good arc. Her development is really well. Um, Besides everything I just ranted about her not actually finding any kind of self worth of being a powerless human. Um, Everything else is pretty solid. She goes and she explores her past. She finds out, more about this. She um, gains friendships she's never had. Which took like 3 seasons or 2 seasons before she met Max and
Yeah.
gain like a real friendship with her, another female, because obviously all her friends beforehand were guys, and you know, I don't really. I guess you could have guy best friends, but girls really mesh with girls and guys really mesh with guys. So
Yeah.
that was her first friend that was a girl, so that was really cool to see that bond
Hmm.
that they had, and even it still being that strong in this season, um, since they didn't really even see each other for like months. So um, no, I mean it's good. I think to me what would make it better, maybe they'll do it in the next season, is if they did give someone else powers as well, like
Well,
so it's not just her being like
Ooh.
all on her the whole time, that it actually you'll have multiple people that'll be able to be part of this whole thing, and that it's not just her being this like super heavily powered person who does things like this.
Yeah. Cue the sister that we did not want in season 2. And then
that's a good
cue
point.
maybe Max getting powers. I don't know. Maybe the three. It could be like the Sanders sisters. Come on, man. We have all three of them all together. Sorry, I had to make some kind of joke in there. Uh,
Do we know how old one is or was?
Oh, that's a good
35,
question.
He
Really?
was in his 30s, right?
35.
Because it was like what 1950 something when all that stuff happened,
Oh,
and
Mm-hmm.
okay,
then
yeah.
it was like
Probably
1980.
late 30s.
So about
Late 30s, going into
at
like
this
maybe
point, late
40s.
30s. Yeah.
But
Over the
hey,
hill.
This
yeah.
this grown ass man's real nemesis is like this 14-year-old girl.
He's all get
That's
off
a
my
very good
lawn.
point. That's a
Get
very,
off my lawn. I can't.
to put some
But
of your own size.
yeah, you are my size. Cries. But all right, this is our season finale. Um, we may be picking up hopefully within the next few months or so. We may give it like a month break and then come back. But if you are listening, we are the deep dive through the upside down. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. We are under the page Emo Sawal Productions, and they have a lot of other things that go on that page. Not only just is it wrestling, it's other podcasts and different brands and stuff as well, as my child is feeding me over here. Um, what else is there? I'm trying
The
to think.
horror movie podcast. There's the fanboy podcast where they do different type of comic book movies, Marvel and DC,
DC
I
and
believe.
everything, anything
Pretty
in
much
between.
anything, yeah, in between. I think Dark Horse is another one. Technically, The Mask is a comic book movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
We
then
got us Friday the 14th. We
and
got
then
Cinema Movie Podcast, and I think that's
Wrestling Tacos, Uwu.
yes, always,
Um,
always. But yeah, just make sure to
but you
like.
could I don't know about what time this is going to be dropped, but there's an Uwu with me and Mr. Drew Dredd
Oh,
down
yeah.
here.
It's on the pin page
One of my
already.
favorite interviews. I'll say that. It's really
All
nice.
right, I'm gonna go then.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out, guys. But no, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Make sure to hit the little bell notification to keep you up to date with all our content that is dropping. Um, and we'll catch y'all guys in the next one.
Yep.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.